Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Hard Count. I'm Michael Emami, and I recently had a great interview with Creighton Preparatory School's middle linebacker, tight end, and long snapper, Jack Kirkwood. Kirkwood is a member of the 2022 class and currently stands at 6 foot 3 inches and 195 pounds. I had Kirkwood on here as a long snapper, but we talked about his versatility on the field as well as more on this episode. All right, everybody, here is Jack Kirkwood. Enjoy. So I wanted to ask you, obviously, you're versatile. You play multiple positions, middle linebacker, tight end, and long snapper. Obviously, long snapper is what I've got you on here as, but I wanted to bring up your versatility as well. What's it kind of like to kind of balance out all those positions and all those responsibilities that you've got towards the team, and what do you kind of do with in terms of workouts?
Yeah, so in terms of working out, obviously being in the weight room is a big part of that for any position. I play on a Warren 7-on-7 traveling team, and I get some good reps there at middle linebacker. I also work out with a former inside linebacker he used to go to Nebraska actually. His name is Mohammed Berry. And, I go to a couple different Coles camps and showcases for long snapping to kind of help perfect my craft of long snapping and further my development. So Coach Casper up at Coles has been really helpful with that and kind of breaking down some film and making sure I'm on the right track there.
Yeah, that's obviously good to hear. And I kind of wanted to get into your experience at Coles, because obviously I see here you list yourself as a 4-star long snapper there, and there's a 4-star long snapper there. So who have you kind of worked on? I know you mentioned your coach at Coles briefly, but what kind of specific skill sets are you working on right now? And have you heard from anybody in terms of colleges?
So I'm just, again, furthering trying to gain some weight. I've had a little bit of struggle there. But everyone's got to work on something. And long snapping, there's just a couple small things, like you said. It's really something where you really have to be perfect. And once you're not, that's when people know your name. So in long snapping, it's just perfecting, getting those hands rotate a little bit more, pulling that head through. College perspective, I've had a number of inquiries from different Ivy League schools. I've been in contact with a couple other D2, D3 NAIA schools. And, I'm just trying to find that program where I can fit in the best academically and athletically, and wherever they need me to play, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And I wanted to get in here. You mentioned Ivy League schools, your GPA listed as a 3.99. Obviously a very dedicated both student and athlete. And I wanted to ask you, kind of going into that, what you kind of do to balance the sports life and the academic life, and what you kind of do to break down your organization in terms of your schoolwork.
Yeah, so a lot of it's just time management. At the end of the day, you got to cut out the things that you waste time with. And I come home from practice, take a shower, eat dinner, and I'm up doing homework till 10, 11 o'clock and trying to get as much sleep as I can. But at the end of the day, school comes first, for me at least. So if that means, waking up a little extra early to go in for some help and really trying to finish all my assignments before and after school, that's something, especially Creighton Prep, just helped me with a lot, especially my time management there.
I had a lot of kids do 7v7s as well, especially they do it through COVID as well, kind of helps them work with coaches, get a little bit of exposure there. So kind of go into detail about kind of what you've done with Warren Academy and who you've worked with there, and then kind of your experience over there overall.
Yeah, so my experience over there has been great. I've been on the team the last 2 years. We didn't get to travel much last year. We only got to go to one tournament down in Chicago. But a lot of it's just helped me with my pass game, my eyes. I've pretty much stuck to defense playing there because that's what I'm more comfortable with, as it is more of a fast-paced sport, you could say. It's kind of a whole different breed of football. The coaches there are all just, hammering the quick lateral speed, quick eyes, that fast twitch type of play. And I think that's really benefited me as a player, because you can see in a lot of my film how I change direction. It's kind of become second nature to change direction that fast, playing 7-on-7.
Yeah, yeah, and I can see here the vision is obviously good as well, and footwork and everything there. So you've got a lot of that stuff down, and it's drastically improved too. And obviously the vertical is great number wise here. You've got a 33.7 vertical. So I wanted to ask you, kind of going into in terms of what you would want a college to know about you in terms of both your character, your attitude, and you as an athlete. What's kind of the first thing you'd want a university to know about you or school to know about you if they're going to take you?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like any school to know that I will do whatever humanly possible to reach a goal that I have. For me, it's not really a problem of can I reach it? It's just when. So it's just really, for me, I love putting in the time. I love grinding. I love putting in all the effort I can. And I feel like I have a really good understanding of coming in and getting a little bit better every day, instead of knowing that you can't just get better, can't just be the greatest after one day. You have to put that work in every day. And I'd also like to say that I'm a people person. I work at a swim school. I teach little kids how to swim. I love working with kids at my school as well. I also applied for a leadership program up there too. So next year as a senior, I'll be able to take care of some freshmen, show them the ropes, and that's something I'm really excited about.
I wanted to ask you, in terms of your family life, how have your parents kind of influenced you? Tell me a little bit about your mom and dad.
Yeah, so my mom and my dad, they're both together. I'm very thankful for that. They've been a huge part of my sports career. Growing up, I've played pretty much any sport you can really think of, and I'm just very thankful for everything that they've done to put me in the right situations.
Okay.
And it's just, yeah, so it's kind of just, especially with all the Kohl's camps, sometimes that can cost a little bit of money, and for them making the sacrifices they do to give me the opportunities that I have, I'm really thankful for.
Yeah, a lot of driving there too. Yeah, yeah. So, kind of getting into your personal life here, what do you kind of do outside of football? Is there anything that you do hobby-wise? Do you have any hobbies outside of football?
Hobby-wise, I'm really into, the anatomy of the body, nutrition, lifting weights, of course. And then I did also mention that I do work. I love to draw. It's something that really helps me keep my mind off of things and focus in on one thing. And anywhere from pickup games, basketball with my friends. My friends are very close to me, almost all like brothers. And the relationship that they bring to the table is just something that, I feel like I couldn't get anywhere else other than prep.
Okay, that's great to hear. And so kind of the one last question here, and this is a pretty difficult one, so I hope you're ready for it. So if you were to get drafted by an NFL team, what would be your preferred team you'd want to get drafted by? Beware, it's a very difficult question, so choose wisely.
All right. Well, at the end of the day, I grew up a Broncos fan, being close. It's probably the closest team other than Kansas City to Omaha, since we don't really have a team. But yeah, I'd probably have to say the Broncos. I grew up watching Peyton Manning, and once he came from the Colts to the Broncos, I really looked up to him and as a player and as a person. And I'd love to wear, orange and navy someday.
Yeah, yeah. How do you feel about Drew Lock nowadays?
Yeah, it's kind of tough to be a Broncos fan these days, but at the end of the day, I chose the team. I'm not gonna, hop on the next trend.
Right, right. I respect that. It's a very respectable quality. I'm sure coaches would love to hear that too. All right, awesome, awesome. Hey, well, thanks for coming on, Jack. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
All right, no problem, of course. Thank you. You have a good one. All right, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in and listening. That was Jack Kirkwood out of Creighton Preparatory School. If you'd like to contact Jack, his Twitter account is @KirkwoodJ20. 2022. I'll be sure to post his huddle link and information below as well. If you'd like to contact me, my Twitter account is at Emami Michael. Both my Instagram and Facebook are at The Hard Count with Michael Emami. You can contact me through there, and also like and check those out. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also be greatly appreciated, too, if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be awesome. I would love that. Thank you very much if you were able to do that. All right, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in and listening to this episode. This has been The Hard Count. Do you have what it takes to go D1?